Stephanie Cates and Robert Goltz that includes local South Florida business owners, subject matter experts, and industry leaders that recognize the need to share their knowledge with other businesses to help them start and grow their business. Join us Tuesday mornings, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, online at Radio Unilatina USA. Follow us on social media at #The Entrepreneurial Hour.
And we are here. It's been a little bit time away from you guys with the Entrepreneurial Hour. This is Robert Goltz and my co-host and friend extraordinaire, Miss Stephanie Cates. Good day to you.
Good day. It's twice today I've seen you.
Twice today. We have some great people in here, and I'll pass it over to Mrs. Cates today to start talking.
Thank you so much. Well, it is my honor because I've known these people personally because I've banked with them and I've worked with them and I love working with Tropical Financial Credit Union. It's a local bank here and they've got several locations across South Florida and now even beyond. So I'm going to first introduce Helen Arroyo Smith, or Smith Arroyo, who is the manager of the Fort Lauderdale and now also the West Palm Beach locations. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
You're welcome. And Mr. Juan Luna, who is the
business development
and these two people are just the two people I really wanted to have come on. Robert, we have well over 40 shows and not one of them is about banking because we could not bring anybody in from any of the big banks who said, oh yeah, I want to come on your show. And we try to talk to them and they won't let us come. They won't let us come. They won't let, like, wow, what are you going to hide?
Something. That's what it is. It's a conspiracy out there.
I'm telling you. So I'm so excited that they came. So Helen just started. Let's kick off. Now you are a bank, but it not quite. You bank with a twist. How's that? Explain to our listeners.
Well, there's a big difference between a bank and a credit union.
Okay.
The biggest difference is that we don't have shareholders. Our shareholders are our members, and each of us owns an equal share of our credit union. Credit unions have a philosophy of members helping members. So they were founded on the basis of helping the communities or underserved communities when the big banks wouldn't. This particularly happened during and post the era when during the recession, the banks were not able to provide for certain communities. So credit unions band together and decided that they would offer banking services to those underserved communities.
Wow, that's interesting. And so Juan, as a bank, as a credit union type of a bank, what do you see as benefits for your members that maybe they wouldn't get with the big box banks?
Well, let's start with the fees. I mean, when you look in banks and looking and compare with credit unions, and you see the benefit on open your account and have, very low fees and maintain those accounts with, minimum requires and high standard on service. So that's when probably the community is more into moving for, I say credit union, but also I can compare the credit union with community banks. I mean, I believe we're on the same level, and that helped them to realize, that credit union is for the benefit of the members. So compared to being a number for the big banks.
Well, I was really amazed. I saw that somewhere in your paperwork that you folks have over 56,000 members.
Yes.
That's right.
Here in South Florida.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And they're all members, meaning that they all own a chunk of the bank.
Exactly.
So when we're setting up a business account, so I know that you offer personal accounts. And I think the setup has to be slightly different with a credit union. Is that correct? Could you explain
There's certain eligibility requirements that need to be met in order to become a member of a credit union. So some have very exclusive membership requirements such that you have to work for a select employee group, a specific company in order to join that credit union. But credit unions over the years have expanded to open up their memberships to allow family members of those employees who work for those select employee groups, or they just have to live, work, or worship in the local communities in which the credit unions serve. And Tropical is one of those types of credit unions. I wanted to fall back on another big difference, though, between a bank and a credit union, and that is that we are not-for-profit organizations. That's a huge difference compared with a traditional retail or commercial bank. So it's usually a very low cost to join a credit union. At Tropical, it's just $5 to become a member. So if you have
that's
$5,
a whole month's worth of fee for us, right?
Yeah, and the problem is I went to McDonald's before I came here, and so I don't have a $5 now even.
Oh, you have to go to the dollar menu, buddy.
Yeah, I know. So, but as we're going into this, for credit unions, you guys started off though just doing the personal stuff, and probably about how long have you guys been going into the business aspect?
Tropical is probably maybe within the past 10 years or so. So a lot of credit unions are still not offering small business banking. So you would have to check and see which credit unions are offering those services. But we are offering full services just as you would see at a regular bank.
Excellent.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's how I first got introduced to them. I actually provide their business members merchant services.
Oh, okay.
One of the offerings that I have. That's how I
thought
met
you were
them.
going to tell me that most typical banks wouldn't let you join them. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was like going, wait a minute.
Listen,
I know
my
there's
money
a lot of...
Okay.
Well, you know, about walking into the bank, because that's one of those types of things you still do. So tell us about let's go into some of the services that the bank, that the credit union goes into.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about, let's start again, looking at the personal side, and then obviously talk about, so Juan, Helen, whichever of you want to start talking about some of the business benefits or the benefits that the bank offers aside from just a savings and checking account.
Let's start with the personal.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So some of the personal and one of the greatest things about credit unions is you'll find that they offer higher interest rates on their deposit products. So you might see better interest rates on a certificate of deposit, for example. So we do offer CDs. We offer retirement and investment services, insurance services, mortgage services, credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, new and used. And we also can do business lending as well. So leasing for businesses, commercial mortgages, etc. So we can pretty much run the full gamut.
I've heard a lot of people, as they're looking to buy vehicles, they always say, "Oh, go to a credit union. They've got the best rates." Is that true?
For the most part, that is true. You will find that, again, being not-for-profit organizations, credit unions don't have to have the highest rates in order to make money for the shareholders. We actually take our earnings and give them back to the members in the form of better interest rates when they need to borrow, or earning more interest when they want to save. So, yes, that's true.
Excellent. Juan, would you talk about some of the business benefits then?
Absolutely. You know, I joined the credit union almost 6 years ago. We're there, right?
Yeah.
Almost. And I always said that the credit union is enough. Actually, Tropical Financial Credit Union is a full-service financial institution. It is an amazing. We can offer, from personal loans to a small business loan to CRE loans, and we provide that services to our community. So when you're looking into the business side, is a very number of products we can actually achieve within the people we are looking for that specific. So again, small businesses, they are allowed to just walk in and talk to our business representative and looking all the, the opportunities you can join with Tropical. So it is great.
Do you have a question?
Nope.
I was going to say, so when you talk about businesses, do they have to be any certain size to come in and open an account with you? Do
No,
they have
really.
to have a certain amount of money?
No,
Do they have
not
to
really.
keep minimums? Can you talk to me about a little
I
bit
can
of that?
talk a little bit about that. Well, we have a suite of business accounts based on the business size. Most businesses at credit unions anyway tend to be your smaller mom and shop type of businesses, but we do offer banking services for companies as they're growing in size. It's $105. $5 to become a member. The business has to become its own member, and then $100 to open any of our business checking accounts. And
I'll have to wait till next month.
yes,
Same here.
no more coffee. No coffee at McDonald's for the next month.
Well, he's McDonald's. I'm a Starbucks girl myself.
Oh, well, there you go. You can save even more. So, yeah, if they keep, they're not able to keep a minimum balance, we have a flat fee of $5 a month for our select business checking account, for example. For larger businesses that might need a separate operating account and maybe a separate merchant account, we have a premium business account for businesses as they're growing that maybe want to keep their funds separate.
Mhm.
I know merchant services, it's nice to have that separation. Accountants usually like that as well when they
Right.
can see what's coming in versus what's going out. And that type of business account would be $10 a month. Those fees actually can be waived as the business is growing and they're maintaining minimum balances. So it's very, very affordable.
And what would be a minimum balance? Just curious.
So for the premium checking, it would be $10,000 a month or more. For the select checking, $5,000 a month.
Okay. Okay, I'm definitely not going to ever get rid of that $10 fee. No. But many of our businesses will, so that's always great. So one of the questions I wanted to ask, besides what the fees were, is, how are you seeing today? I see so many businesses, I see banks closing their doors, like now getting rid of locations and consolidating because people are doing online banking. And I find that businesses want to make sure that they can just not have to drive during the business hours, leave their customers, or, you guys close 5, 6, whatever at night. You do have a drive up window or you have one of those cash machines, but how much business do you see now going online? And what do you see in your crystal ball? Like where's banking going? Where's the banking industry going with all of this online stuff?
The banking industry is definitely moving towards a digital and online atmosphere. So the great thing is that Tropical is right up on par with our peers. We offer mobile banking, mobile deposit. All of our ATM machines can take cash and checks. So they have that ability for that 24-hour access to be able to still deposit and move money. If you pay attention to any of the millennials now, everything is through those cash apps. They need to move money, between their friends. They went out for pizza and this one pays for it and the other two are already sending their money. So we definitely need to keep our eye on the pulse of the next generation. Tropical has a big focus on our Gen Next, which is what we call our millennial group. And we have focus groups out there that we are making sure that we are on the pulse of what's coming up next in our industry.
Go ahead. Oh, 1 more minute.
1 more minute. So how about if we just take our break then and go right into that?
Yeah.
And we'll be back in probably about another minute with the Entrepreneur Hour with Stephanie Cates and Robert Goltz.
Unilatina International College with campus in Miramar, Florida, is a boutique college with focus on entrepreneurship. UIC offers associate and bachelor degree programs in business, tourism, and communications and media. Associate degree students develop their business plan while studying at UIC. Dream, learn, and grow. Join now our business incubator. Learn more at unilatina.edu.
The Entrepreneurial Hour is sponsored by the Miramar Pembroke Pines Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Weston Florida Chamber of Commerce, and the Pembroke Park West Park Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, now we're back. Folks, we're here with the Entrepreneur with Stephanie Cates and myself, Robert Goltz, making this podcast look sexy. That would be me. In that a credit union, and both of our guests today are from Tropical Financial Credit Union. And a question that I had, can you talk about some of the services specifically in business? You know, I know businesses look for loans. I know you guys have checking accounts, things of that nature. What other products and services do you guys offer in that area?
Well, we do offer business loans. We have two actually, commercial bankers within Tropical Financial Credit Union that can help with commercial mortgages, commercial leasing. They can help with commercial lines of credit should they need, just for some working capital and for installment type of loans as well. So we do offer that. Compared with some of the banks, we may not have things like ACH and wire transfer services. Those can still be done, but we don't have specific in-house services. I know our larger banks have the ability to do that right online. So that's not to say that that's not coming. It's just not here yet.
But they do offer merchant services, and they have partners. And, one of the companies that I know, I believe they've bought most of their vehicles through you guys, through their business, right? You can still set up fleet. I mean, you can help them with business car loans, vehicle loans through the business.
Yes, we have all members get, as part of their benefits, auto advisors. So we have a program in which we have advisors who will help you negotiate your purchase on your vehicle, as well as if you have a trade-in. They find the vehicle that you're looking for, schedule the appointment. You get pre-approved with one of your loan reps at one of your branches or through our call centers and online. And once you're approved, you take a little piece of paper with you that says that you're approved over to the dealership, and you meet your advisor over there, test drive the vehicle. If that's the one that you like, you sign and drive. So we make it very, very easy.
And you know how much is the cost for that? Zero. Nothing. We pay for it.
Absolutely free.
Yes.
Zero.
Zero.
Is that like FREE?
Exactly.
Wow. I know some people in that business that are not FREE. They're doing so. Wow. That's, you guys pay it.
Yeah,
Yes,
we pay
for that service.
You know how amazing it is? You are at home, some advisor call you and ask you, the detail, how many gadgets you want in your vehicle. They search for it. They do everything for you. And when you come back, they tell you the location you need to go. And sometimes they drive you to the location. You just do the drive on the vehicle you want. If you like it, you go. We take care about the paperwork. You don't need to spend time into the dealer. We do everything for you. So, and that is a plus.
That is definitely a time saver.
Yes, because
Totally.
my husband every night sits with his little iPad thing, and he's got 100 people texting him, "Go look at this car over here at our place." And I'm like, "Why are you doing that?" But I think he's doing it because he likes to. Yeah, he's old fashioned. Okay, so one of the things that I know for a fact that you guys also have is student loans. Not student loans. Student. You can get a bank account, or
Yes.
you can get accounts for your kids. And so talk to me about not only that for the family, so the family loans and the family accounts, but what do you have? Because I remember seeing something about student loans. Again, is there something
not for
about
student
that?
loans? We do offer something. Let me step back a little bit. So I mentioned the millennials and our Gen Next. So we actually have an account called the Gen Next Checking. This is a great account for anyone ages 13 to 25. And we have no minimum balance requirements, no ATM fees. We do also participate in something called share branching, which gives maybe a college student the opportunity to bank nationwide. So they went away to college, and there's not going to be a Tropical Financial Credit Union up at UCF, but there are several other credit unions who cooperate with Tropical Financial Credit Union. I believe there's over 5,000 of them in network.
I was going to say, we go to Colorado, we deposit checks there, we get money there. If I can't do it online because I physically have a large check or something, we go to a shared
branch.
co-op, branch, and they're all over. They really are. And except for having that shared line as opposed to an in-branch line,
Right.
that's the only difference you feel,
And thank God you're talking about that, because a lot of people thinking the credit union is your local bank. And literally it's not. I mean, when I explain to small businesses or regular members, I said, you can count on your credit union based on your co-op network, like your bank is actually nationwide. I mean, you can be in anywhere and just looking for the co-op and see the location and go over there and do your transaction as a regular, location, like you are in South Florida and maybe you are in Colorado and working so well. So
explain what that co-op is, that shared credit union thing, so people understand.
Unlike banks, credit unions actually are in a sisterhood, a cooperative network where they help each other out. We're not competing with each other. So the credit unions that participate in the cooperative network allow you to use their facilities and do regular teller type of transactions inside. So if you're in Colorado and you need to get a cashier's check to go buy a car out there, you could go into one of our shared facilities. You would need your member number, which is what we refer to as your account number at credit unions, and your ID. They'll be able to pull up your account at Tropical Financial Credit Union and process your cashier's check for you in Colorado.
And when my daughter comes here has her Bank of America. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I'm just saying when she does that, they don't even want to cash her check because her check is from Colorado, even if it's in the same bank. So she says, fine. I remember her being so mad. She just took her ATM card, walked out, and, I'm like, I don't even know why you tried to do a check. She goes, I don't know. I had it written, and maybe it was somebody gave it to her, the check or something. So, I would say that's probably, it's almost like having your own account right there.
Yes, it's one of the best kept secrets of credit unions. So a lot of people are afraid to go to a credit union because they kind of fear that, if I'm traveling, outside of my local network, I won't be able to have access to my bank account. And that's a myth.
So I lived in Colorado Springs for 21 years. And when I first got there, of course, I think I had Wells Fargo or Key Bank or some big bank, and the fees were killing me. And I was struggling, recently divorced and, trying to get a job. I had a job, but I was just trying to get my feet wet out there. And I started working at one of the military bases, and they were like, in Federal Credit Union, Security Service, I'm like, credit union? What the heck is a credit union? I'm from New York. We don't have credit unions. Nobody bands together there to create one. At least I had never heard one. And so they'll tell you now that I'm wrong because Macy's had one, right? Or something. Yeah. So I decided to start listening a little more. And then they started saying, "Oh yeah, no, just go to." I'd hear them say, "Go to your credit union, man. They're like so much cheaper to get a car with." And you'd hear that, or go get a loan with them, or go and they have these holiday things. They have these savings plans. I was sitting there, and finally my husband and I checked out a few, and we closed all those big boy banks. And because he's retired military, we were able to go into one of those. And then we found out we didn't even need to be military because they offer it now to school teachers, anybody that was kind of like government, a type of employee or state, local, federal employee. They offered that program too. So literally there's probably 15 credit unions out in Colorado Springs, but of course 90% of the population is 1 degree of separation from military. So that's the reason why they do very well out there.
Yeah.
Now here, as we have more and more military, I see that a lot of people are migrating towards credit unions, but I think it's because the military really pushes the credit union mentality, I think, for these members, because they know that when they're TDY, when they're overseas, when they deposit in their banks, they can put holds, they can help them a lot.
Well, they also can do more advertising than they used to be able to do before, too. Before unless you were part of the industry that the feeder industry, you didn't hear anything. I remember my mother, when she was working in Michigan, she was part of the community credit union, but it was all, the only people that knew about it were those that were government employees. That was it, because you never saw advertising on the television, radio, or anything. Now you guys are a little bit more out there with that, and also spending money in the community to bring new clients to you.
Absolutely. Business development, as Juan can say, is a huge focus for credit unions, and spreading the word. It is one of the best kept secrets out there that you can have financial services at a lower cost, and that they can offer things that whether you're high net worth or, just getting started, credit union services have something for everyone. And, it's been, a lot of people think credit union is for credit. They really don't think that all these other services are available to them. So for the listeners out there, go and visit your local credit unions and see what they have to offer, because there's a lot out there that the banks can't do for you. So.
Yeah, and also in the past, remember, in order to join what we say over here in a credit union, you need to be part of that company. Mm-hmm. And now it's based on where you live. Yeah. And they allow you to join, you and your family or anybody, join the credit union. And that is one of the big difference right now. And that's when the business development part coming up, because having the opportunity to show people what we're doing outside within the community is also an important part to the people understand the credit union is a full financial institution who allow you to save money and live better. So basically,
well, it's they give back. They're just not taking, and
exactly.
and I get very frustrated because in merchant services we deposit people's credit card earnings into whatever bank account, business bank account they tell us to. And, I go in there and sometimes they'll come to me and talk to me, and I'll find out that they were set up on 3-year contracts by these big box banks. They were sold equipment. They do everything over the phone, and they sold them a $700 machine. Mm-hmm. Nobody is ever going to swipe or insert the chip. Why did they need to buy that? Well, somebody from that bank needed to make that extra dollar, and they just sold it. Mm-hmm. I see that happening all the time with the banks. They've got quotas. Now, that I sell with, do you guys have a quota of how many merchant accounts you have to sell? No.
I wish we did for you, Stephanie.
Well, so did I, but it's not something I want. I've told them that's never going to be how we do business, but that's not the way you do business either. So I'm a business and I think, geez, this sounds really good. I'm opening a new business, so I want to go to Tropical. What does a new business need to do, or any business need to do? What documents or paperwork do they need in order to open an account with you guys?
The very, very first step is they have to register their business on Sunbiz. So whether they're a sole proprietor or a limited liability corporation or an S corp, they need to register their business in the state of Florida. Once they do that, they can come in and we can actually look up their business information. It usually takes about 3 to 5 days before it's showing on Sunbiz. And the signers on the business can come into our branches. We complete everything for them at the branch. So they don't need to bring anything other than if they have a special license. So if they're like a nail salon or a barber, a plumber, electrician that requires a license, a state license, then they do need to bring that in with them. But other than that, we provide and prepare all of the documentation for them when they come in. And they can sign and get all of their account information right on the spot.
Now, do you have any prohibited businesses? I mean, I know we do in our business, like those people you were talking about before. Yeah, we don't.
It was funny that he mentioned that. those are some of the prohibited businesses that
we were talking about, like bordellos and brothels, and what else are they called? House of ill repute.
The oldest, longest businesses that are out there in time, we are just putting off to the side. I do not understand this.
Yeah, the cave gambling.
See, I don't have this problem with Big John. When I take my money to Big John or borrow Big John's money, I know that I've got a 10 to 15% per day interest rate going on, and if I'm not delivering, the appendages missing. It's very straight and forward. There's really no paperwork to it. But I know my money's safe. So anyway, another break.
And when we get back, we will ask you for some of the prohibitive businesses. So
Absolutely.
All right.
And we'll be back with the Entrepreneur Hour.
Unilatina International College with campus in Miramar, Florida is a boutique college with an applied, cutting-edge, holistic education model. Business, tourism, and communication students not only develop their field intellectual skills, but are also empowered to become holistic professionals and human beings through yoga, self-empowerment, holistic human development courses, and more. Sign up to become a holistic professional at unilatina.edu or call 954-607-4344.
The Entrepreneurial Hour is sponsored by the Miramar Pembroke Pines Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Weston Florida Chamber of Commerce, and the Pembroke Park West Park Chamber of Commerce. The Entrepreneurial Hour, shining light on the Tri-Chamber members.
And we are back. We're talking about banking and on the Entrepreneur Hour, and we're just about to go into talking about credit unions and what is prohibited. Mm-hmm. Not like Big John's business, nothing's prohibited. We'll take anything, as he says. Let's talk about what's going on in the credit union. What businesses really shouldn't come to your door?
Well, we really don't like to operate in virtual currency type businesses like Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Anybody starting in that type of industry will have trouble probably finding a financial institution that will open an account if they're doing some type of Bitcoin type of business, unfortunately. Money services or money transmittal companies where
like loan sharks, or the pawn shops.
Yeah. Those are generally prohibited as well. We also like to kind of stay away from anything that's cash only type of businesses.
So there goes my erotic dancers and strippers.
Your basement. What we're hearing in the marketplace now are these, I don't know what the businesses are going to be called, but, of course, we're hearing all this legislation around the marijuana.
Yeah, in every state, if you are insured nationally by something, you cannot collect money for marijuana.
So I'm from a state that's been doing marijuana for about 8 years now. Now, I personally haven't done any, but I will say that
your actions say different.
But when it became very clear that the money is there. I mean, at the very beginning, they were getting robbed. That people would stuff their mattresses with the money because they could only collect cash. And then it changed a little bit. They started with these armored trucks or these big safes, or they found these safe depots where a truck would come, take it, and then put it into it's almost like a storage center, but with safes. Mm-hmm. And they kept the cash there. Can you believe that?
But you gain no interest on that.
No, exactly.
It's not an investment.
Yeah, exactly. So realizing that some of the community banks that were, as I understand, like they had federal charters, they realized that as does the state, can go the bank. So they got rid of their federal charters, became state chartered, and guess who now has most of the money? these little community banks
Yeah.
who have skyrocketed to millions of
Right.
dollars from being nothing.
Right.
So you've got Bank of the Rockies. You've got these banks that I remember very clearly knowing that they got rid of their federal charters, and they just now they don't have FDIC or some of the,
FDIC.
whatever the federal requirements are. It's kind of like bank here at your own risk. But if you've got 10 clients and they're putting in several million a month, I don't think you care.
Right.
If Stephanie comes and puts in her $20 a week.
Big John's Bank and Loan. That's what I'm saying. We need to open up.
But we're having problems now because, again, some legislation is going on in Colorado, and they've now, some banks that were doing it are now saying, no, we're getting our hands slapped for other. So I think, I'm not sure what. Now, I did go knock on a medical marijuana dispensary while I was up there because I wanted to know, because we are going to be having those here in Florida very soon. And I wanted to know how they sell and how they get money. And they do it through PIN debit.
Okay.
Through the closed networks of Shazam, NYCE, Cirrus, those closed networks, if you use your debit and put your PIN, it goes in your bank and out, and it doesn't go through Visa, MasterCard, Discard. That's how they're doing it.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it, but that's how they gotten around. Now they're doing that. But now CBD, that's another one. Got a CBD people. That's not quite marijuana. It's not cannabis. It's hemp oil. But that's become a big problem right here in Florida. I've been approached by no less than 10 or more people that want to have a website or a brick and mortar. I'm like, not yet. Not yet. Do you take any of them?
No, not yet.
What would have to change for you guys to take them, do you think?
Well,
I know that's
we're
just
governed by the NCUA, the National Credit Union Association, which is identical for all intents and purposes to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. So unless something federally is going to happen, more than likely Tropical will not accept those types of businesses.
I'm seeing some business opportunities right now.
big
If I could
Bob's.
figure out
Yourself a bunch of big safes, get yourself a storage unit, get yourself indemnity security, and have them patrolling, picking up money, putting it in. It's got to go by cash. The thing is, if I walked into your bank and I wanted to deposit some cash, you didn't know where it's from, don't you have like certain amounts that you're like, where did you get it from?
It's going to get reported.
Yeah.
Either way, a paper trail is going to be created regardless of what financial institution you go to, because again, that's a federal law. So
if you earned it by selling CBD oil, for example, let's go very benign. Is that like a federal offense? Would that be something that would put you behind bars in the banking world, or would that close your bank for accepting?
We are not policing the people on what they're doing. Our job is to report it to the government that cash is either coming in or leaving the financial institution. What happens, behind the scenes is up to the government.
Now, I thought it was just 10,000 or more that you report. Is it actually less than that, or is it just all? If it's like a lot of cash,
all transactions are recorded. So people think that because they're bringing cash into a bank, that's not getting recorded. It is. It's getting tracked to your account number. But there are limits in which you do have to report to the government. So anything over 10,000 and 1 penny is reported. Or if there's a purchase of cashier's checks, money orders, or some or other negotiable instrument, traveler's checks, for example, at over $3,000 and a penny that are purchased by cash are also reported to the government. So,
is this for laundering, money laundering?
To make sure
avoid
that there's a paper trail. It's not to say that the money was obtained illegally or that any type of illegal transaction was done. This is to create a paper trail so that to help reduce money laundering.
Okay.
Wow. So, and you know what?
Just keep it in your damn mattress.
You guys are giving a bad name to money laundering. Those are with that, Also, what other is there any other types of what we would consider normal businesses that may not be able to use the credit union and things of that nature?
I can't think of any quote unquote normal businesses that would not be able to use Tropical Financial Credit Union. So if you're, a nanny or a babysitter, or you're operating a nail salon, you're doing a Subway, a Dunkin' Donuts, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to.
Those are all questionable businesses to me.
Well, the girls will have to recommend the foot service from last week. We'll have to go ahead and recommend Tropical to open their business and get paid for their foot service.
Have you paid for a donut lately? It is like $2-3 for a donut.
No,
that is highway robbery. I'm just saying.
We should report them. I want to go ahead and so I've done a lot of trainings with the people, and I had the honor of following my training for merchant services after Juan was doing his last month with a bunch of new hires for the credit union. And he was just so funny. He just had everybody in stitches. But I was really impressed by this new program that I think you're like spearheading something that I've not seen by any other credit unions. And it's called your company partner program or company
program.
Can you talk about this program?
That was a nice and funny day. Right?
That was. You really had. I had to follow you. That was not easy.
That was a very nice day. Yes, actually, 5 years ago, Tropical Financial Credit Union decided to move in and create their own program. So a lot of banks call Bank at Work. So basically, that's the main idea, is to bring to the companies and special benefits to their employees. So when we're looking at the foundation of the program, what we're doing with this program is to get to them special rebates, free checking account. And of course, it's always in a criteria for that. And we try to be on that criteria with companies with 50 and also the employer offer direct deposit to the employees. And they're going to receive, if they want to open the account, they receive $100, back after the 90 days. If they want to refi their vehicle, also we have some rebates, additional cash back to your membership account or checking account. If you want to refi your home or you are looking for buying a new property, we actually have a credit into your closing day for your appraisal. And like that, you have a very unique benefit for those employees. And when you back 5 years ago and we start looking for companies and you look into today, it's a big jump of opportunity because right now we have over 189 corporations from 50 employees, and we have corporation with 4,500. And one of those, actually, you mentioned in our last chamber breakfast that now we have Macy's nationwide, literally, because after the merge, we were able to use Macy's New York as a main branch. And from them, all the Macy's employees are able to get those benefits for the new membership. So, and like that, we have, thank God, to a couple of days ago, we have NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line.
Oh, congratulations.
So, thank you.
But you guys have done Spirit for a number of years now, haven't you?
Yes. So,
which they're also very active with the chamber. They're one of the sponsors.
Yeah, and this is amazing program. I actually dream with the program. I eat with the program. I have my blood. We call PC. I have PC on my blood. Whatever you want to do with a PC is something like we're there. And not only that, Robert, you mentioned something about credit unions and the way we are upside within the community and support the community, and also to others not-for-profit organization. That is also part of the partner company program. So because we want to be sure that the community receives the support from Tropical Financial Credit Union. And when you're looking like today, I was with the mayor, Brooke, in Coral Springs, and doing the grand opening for the new location in Coral Springs, who actually was amazing. How the UK people say, lovely. So. And that's part of us, that's when you're looking, the partner company program be joined, the Miramar and Pembroke Pines, and join the Coral Spring Chamber, and supporting the different cities like North Miami, Coral Springs, Miami, and gosh, we have so many different ones. And you are there. We have present into our cities or counties. So that is partner company program. That is the program we bring to the employees for live better and receive much better benefits.
And again, kudos, because I know the this is what I had to follow everything.
Wow.
He
Wow. It's a little different here in the office now.
But their online banking is spectacular. It really is one of the best ones. I have tried, and I won't say the names, and I basically said, I can't. Let me just take the check and not even try to deposit it into theirs. Let me just put it into Tropical and let me pay my bills. So you guys do everything there. I love your analytics. You can get free TurboTax. I mean, literally, they just give you the software and it just uploads everything and your taxes are done. I'm still paying my sister-in-law, but it's because it's a family thing. But I really, kudos to you. It's a great program. But I love the way you've imparted that program. Talk about how you actually. Do we need to take a break?
We need to take the last break, and then we'll be right back, and we'll get into these questions.
You got it.
You're with the Entrepreneur Hour with Robert Goltz and Stephanie Cates. We're talking about banking and credit unions. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Uni Latina International College offers an English as a second language program for international students. UIC's high qualified ESL teachers help students develop and master the English speaking and comprehension skills needed for both work and pleasure. Our ESL program also focuses on cultural adaptation through fun field trips and cultural experiences. Start your journey today at unilatina.edu/ESL or call 954-607-4344.
The Entrepreneurial Hour is a weekly radio talk show hosted by Stephanie Cates and Robert Goltz that includes local South Florida business owners, subject matter experts, and industry leaders that recognize the need to share their knowledge with other businesses to help them start and grow their business. Join us Tuesday mornings, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, online at Radio Unilatina USA. Follow us on social media at #The Entrepreneurial Hour. The Entrepreneurial Hour with Stephanie Cates and Robert Goltz.
And we are back. If only you knew what we talk about in those breaks.
You have to check us out on YouTube.
So it's a secret here. So we're back with banking and credit unions. And Stephanie, I know you had a couple more questions that you wanted to ask in this last section that we have.
Yeah. So Juan, I really love how, so many people, even in my industry, banks, you go in, you open an account and sayonara, you're done, you're gone. You don't even know, what bank did I go to? Let me look at my checkbook to see where my bank is, or on
checkbook,
online banking. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is they don't really have any kind of tie. What I love about you with this program, with the community, with businesses, is you don't abandon them. You really have to talk about how you've introduced these programs to the employees of these partner companies.
Absolutely. It's my passion. Basically, we are with the company as soon as they say yes. And we offering to them not only to sell them a checking account with a special benefits, it's also to offering to them other benefits. Like, for example, Lunch and Learns. That is seminars we do to the companies to educate their employee. We have around probably 12 to 15 different topics we can cover with the company. And we normally deal to cover with their own employees. So we are there. We support them the same way we support the community. And that is one of those benefits, like the people love it. It's not just being a bank and go to the on site and sell and disappear. No, we literally create an action plan working within the company and be sure they understand that our job as a credit union is to help their employees to growth or to rebuilding the credit or to reestablish in a banking account or banking relationship. That is our job with the partner company program. When we present it to them, they are so glad to have, in a local bank who actually are able to working with them. And I can say this is the key of the program. The way the corporations, small businesses, or regular companies looking us like support people for them.
Did you have a question?
I had no question.
Okay.
What I'm watching is this is a good thing. What I'm watching is the passion that you can see from him. If you're only listening to us, the passion that he has for this program, and you don't see that typically with most business people anyway, much less a banking credit union person, that he's like, oh, I'm so excited about that. And I'm like going, wow, this is.
But you have to understand that
he really, it's something that they're passionate about. So you don't see that. Usually it's like, yeah, we have this program and this program does ABC and bye. And even when he's talking about it, he's not just explaining what the program is, but you can tell he's passionate about that. And if every business just had 4 or 5 people that are passionate, how much bigger can those businesses grow and things? And that's what I'm watching
but this is just the tip of the iceberg. You just see these 2 people. Helen is phenomenal. She pushes mountains for her customers. When they have a problem, they go to her. She would call me and I would move mountains to make it work. These people are not just an 800 number. They're your local banks. And
why are we going against 800 numbers now?
So what I wanted to explain is that I have seen more people leave the banking industry, the normal big box banks, to go and work for a credit union because they're tired of kind of like having to live these quotas. And I don't care whether you can't afford this merchant, but I need to sell it because I have to my boss says I have to. And they don't want to live like that. Where with you guys, it's what's best for the member. And that's how they live. It's really what's best for their members. If the member isn't happy and they lose their member, they understand that the member is the gas for the boat, and the boat can't move if the member's not paying is not there to pay the gas. So I love that philosophy. It's the way my company is with Yamilet and Claudia. I think the chamber is like that. I know that.
Well excited.
Yeah, I know. He talks a big, but he's all about taking care of his members, business members, giving them the tools to succeed, because when they succeed, he succeeds. So he likes to talk, but that's why he's the executive director of all chambers in the state of Florida. He won this big award this year for being the best executive director.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I'm talking about.
So talk about passion. It's just that his passion comes out very differently.
Yeah.
But 4 of us here, as well as our wonderful producer, Marcela. This college is all about doing what's right for the client, for their students. And so I love working with people like yourself. I love promoting people like yourselves, because it is about that win-win. So how many minutes?
We got 9 minutes left.
9 minutes. Okay. So
may I add something else into the program? It is important. So companies are not liable. And this is very important. So company working with us, with the program, but the company is not liable for the program or whatever the employees do through the program. So they just want the support from us to help them to, keeping the employees happy, or the time to reduce the turnover into those situations. I mean, we are there to just helping them. They just need to let us know that what they're looking for, and we're going to create a specific, schedule for working with that companies.
Excellent. So, Helen, you've been with the biz. How long have you been with Tropical?
28 years. Well, 5.5 years with Tropical, 28 years in the banking industry.
And I know you were in a big box bank prior. And
I was in several of them.
and what do you see as the great, is it true what I'm telling you about that feeling of getting up every day and being much more passionate about what you're doing?
Absolutely. When I first started in banking, I was with a local community bank that grew and grew and grew and now has the little flag logo. Went through 4 mergers to get there. And, after 10 years and realizing that it was about,
somebody else making money. Yeah.
Somebody else making money and selling products to people that necessarily didn't need them. They had a checking account. Why do they need another checking account if they can't balance the checking account that they have? They have a credit card, but now they need a points card and a New York Yankee card, and but they're maxed out on all of the cards. And I knew something wasn't inherently right about that. And when I left the dark side, as I call it, and came over to the credit union world, I felt the same way I did when I first started in banking, that we were there for the community. We're about education first. We have to teach people how to balance their checkbook and how to save money and how to budget. And we have to teach people how to use credit and the importance of credit in the United States. I mean, we all know that a credit score is very, very important, but most people don't understand how to have good credit. They think that by having a credit card and by maxing out their credit cards and paying them on time is going to give them good credit. And that's not necessarily true. And I went to school to be a teacher. So this is my passion. And I feel that 28 years later, that I'm educating people every single day. And the way that I manage my branch and the way that I work with the community, and when I help them participate in these lunch and learns, it's with that same drive and passion. And the reason why I come to work every day is for that. And I will never go back to the big banks.
Excellent. Thank you. Juan, how do you see the businesses changing after they link with this program and Tropical? Do you see any changes in the bank, in the businesses that you're dealing with, and their vision, the relationship that they have back with the actual branches and the people there?
Yes, it's a lot of examples, but I can say, like, when you looking the employees be able to banking and be able to receive their direct deposit into the account compared to go to the store, in order to get the cash right away, because they are not allowed to have more bank relationship. And when you're looking the owner of the business having the opportunity to offer to the employees the new relationship and creating that kind of like now they can go online, they can use the debit card, they can pay online, they can don't live just in cash or have cash in your pocket. That's changing. I mean, life is changing, and we are helping them to do these changes on it. So it is in a positive way. And I'm very glad that we are able to go out and offering to them those opportunities.
How much time left do we have, Miss Marcella?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. So these last couple of minutes.
That was a deep voice from Miss Marcella.
So how many branches do you have currently? Physical branches do you have here in South Florida?
Actually, in South Florida, we have a total 9 branches. And we include also a brand new branches after the merge, with one in Kansas City and one in New York, Macy's building, Manhattan. So that is the total of branches we are able to offer to people, So
yeah. So Yamilet and Claudia are arm wrestling to see who's going to go to New York to go talk to them about merchant services.
It's always an opportunity,
yes,
right?
It is. It is a great opportunity.
Yes.
We've actually already sold someone who came from the New York branch.
There
so
you
believe
go.
it or not, we get these referrals from you guys.
Nice.
Helen, talk to me about the branches, the online. How would you tell someone that an online can really serve their purposes instead of waiting in line, or between physical banking and online banking? Give me.
Well, it's all about convenience now. So online banking gives people the convenience to bank 24 hours a day. They can print their electronic statements. They can download them. It's tax season, so a lot of CPAs are asking for those statements. They can download them and send off an email in a matter of minutes. They can research transactions. They can file disputes on their credit card, for example. Our mobile app allows them to make check deposits right from their pocket. So one of the other things that we're really
I love my bill pay, by the way, on my phone. I forgot to pay something. I can do it. I'll have to worry about going home at night, and I would not remember.
One of the things that we're really promoting is our mobile app, because we know that mobile first is kind of the way that technology is being driven, especially in the financial world. We have a great thing called Card Valet, which allows our members to enroll their credit and debit cards into our same mobile app, and they can track or block certain transactions. So if, for example, they don't want their cards to ever work for online purchases or at gas stations or bars and restaurants or outside of a geographical location. So, I don't want my card to work more than 50 miles away from my home zip code. They have in the control of their own pocket the ability to shut down their card or block certain types of transactions. So that's another feature that we have. For the students, we have a new roundup program called Change Ed, and that allows them to register their debit card. And for each purchase that they make, it goes into a little bucket. And what it does is it allows them each time they reach $100 to have that money that they've saved transfer to help pay off their student loans.
Oh, I need that.
Yes. So this is, all of the things that we're looking to do, and they can do anything from open an account to apply for a loan to make a deposit right from their own pocket.
Yes, Stephanie, Dave just called and he would like that thing where he can turn off all your cards. He said he needs it very quickly.
Okay, Dave. We'll be speaking when I get home. Juan, would you please tell our listeners your name, your phone number, email? How can people get a hold of you if they want to reach you? Well,
sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. My name is Juan Luna. I'm working with Tropical Financial Credit Union, of course. We're here with Tropical. And my title is a business development manager. And my personal cell phone is 954-249-0548. So 954-249-0548. So.
And just so everybody knows, he's reading this off of a card because I don't think he knows who he is.
Hey, Robert, let me tell you something. That's technology.
Yes,
it is killing us.
I remember from 5 years old, CA92658. That was my grandmother's number. She told me, and I can still remember this at the age of almost 65.
Yep.
However, 65? I got to think, I don't know I have to look up my daughter's phone number because I just hit a button on my phone. I'm there with you, babe.
Every phone number have a name, so that's the problem. So you're not looking for the number, you're looking for the name.
Helen, would you please let our listeners know who you are and how they can reach you?
Sure. My name's Helen Arroyo, Arroyo, and I can be reached by cell at 954-303-2609, 954-303-2609.
So if you are an individual or if you own a business and you're interested in some great business or personal accounts at low cost, please reach out to Helen. And if you're a business and you would love to find out the criteria to use the partner program, partner company program, please reach out to Juan. Hey guys, it's been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much.
It's been great.
Mr. Robert,
great. We've had a great time here talking about credit unions. On behalf of Stephanie Cates and me, Robert Goltz, that's GOLTZ. I'd like to maybe tune in next week as we come back here with the Entrepreneur Hour.
The
The Entrepreneurial Hour is a weekly radio talk show hosted by Stephanie Cates and Robert Gultz that includes